ты это докажи. Что за народ такой? Пошел, поехал, я ручаюсь. Надо, дал бы волю вам, сожгли бы меня на костре. А также буду жить и снова радоваться снегопаду и ждать от тебя только лишь хороших новостей. В забытом богом мегаполисе я разрушал стереотипами напичканных людей. Мешал тебе заботливо губить себя, ногу тебе вайба моего сомнительного перевод. Время убегало прочь, его опережал. Не глядя на виду порядок, думал и гадал. Не перебор ли моя дивная утопия наивного мечтателя? Мол, я как Бог, я как Бог.
Санрайз пробивается в окно. Я ман, наши люди заодно. Лайфстайл, это все предрешено. Мой бит, мой блог, мое все.
Alright, so that was Utopia by Andy, Panda, and Miyagi. I love that song. For me, it felt like, it had such dark undertones, but like very subtle dark undertones. Like I don't know, like he's singing happily, but from a very dark place. And I don't know, that was very cool. So I want to hear what you guys have to say because I, know nothing about this except that I've heard one of his other songs, Cassandra,
Cassandra, yeah.
which
Also
I
very good
enjoy.
song.
So
Yeah.
I enjoyed this one as well. So, but tell us, what
I
we need
think
to know.
you actually kind of hit it perfectly because a lot of like
You see
his the genre the genre of his songs is also like often referred to as basically shisha rap, and I feel like that's so diminishing to them because their songs are kind of known to like when you listen to it in a chill atmosphere just with your friends, and because shisha is very popular in Russia, you get like in shisha bars, but in reality his songs, they carry so much more meaning rather than that. And the way you said about sort of this like lighter undertone and dark undertone is exactly it, I think, because a lot of their songs, and like this one especially, it's kind of looking at the world and the society as a whole, and it's kind of from a personal reflective, but also just kind of like an independent bystander looking at the society as a whole. And he talks in a lot of, well, they talk a lot about like in their songs about this, what are we doing with our world, sort of. We're sort of all trying to find this happiness, and we're all rushing around. We're all just kind of trying to find our spot under the sun. But in reality, that's what actually ruins the society and the sort of this utopia that we're trying to create, which is in the song. And yeah, and a lot of like the another song, Patron, which is I think translated as like a bullet, also sorry, also has the same sort of meaning that we're just so ready to cut each other's throat just to find our own spot, our own happy spot, and that's what ruins the society as a whole. So that's I think one of the like general themes in a lot of their songs. And I really like that because I think a lot of rap artists, they talk about society and like moral problems, but they laugh at it. Whereas this is sang from sort of a place of hope, of an artist showing from his personal experience that, look, this is wrong. We can actually do much better. If that makes sense.
Yeah, their music. I feel like it's got two sides to it. So you can listen to it without sort of interpreting the lyrics, just to turn it on and listen to it because, well, you just hear stuff going on. You don't have to process it too much. But then if you actually sort of listen to the lyrics or read them and try to understand what they tried to imply, you can see that they use a lot of metaphors, sort of a lot of nested, very complicated metaphors and different references that really make you think sometimes. I think that's what makes them really interesting, combined with their sort of genre of music they produce. That's what I find really interesting.
So, one thing that I was just thinking about, because obviously right before this we were listening to Cadillac,
Oh yeah.
and the lyrics for that a little bit different,
Yeah, definitely.
maybe they mean slightly different things.
Just slightly.
Yeah, just slightly. And one of the things that you mentioned earlier is that like Morgenstern, one of the things that he was saying is, to get popularity, just like offend people, strike some nerves. People aren't looking for music with deep implications. But obviously, like this song, I'm assuming like Miyagi and Panda are also still very popular, no?
They
Yeah,
are
yeah,
very
definitely.
popular.
And yet their music is, and
It's a bit
evidently
more
from this
subtle.
song, it's,
Yeah.
there is things to unpack.
Yeah, it's no particularly fun music.
Yeah.
Even though people do have fun at concerts and when the music is played, it's not the kind of music you'd want to blast in a club.
Mm-mm.
Although they've got a couple of songs for that.
Yeah.
But as in general, you wouldn't expect to hear that in a club.
Mm-mm.
And I think, as Nick pointed out, it's sort of because of the way the music is produced and the timbre of the main artist's voice, you can still listen to it without giving it much thought. But when you actually start to sort of dive deep and look into the lyrics, you're like, oh wait, they sing about a lot of important things, but it just doesn't sort of strike you. So you can listen to it both ways, I would say.
Yeah, like it combines like the best of the two worlds. Like it combines good lyrics and also really good music, like really good quality music. So that's why it's appealing to people. But I would say like they are extremely popular, but it is a bit more like niche. Like it's a bit more like there is a specific kind of people that love this music, and then it's like there are people who love it or hate it.
Mm.
Segregated?
say.
Okay.
Bring it on. I mean, yes and no. I would like kind of disagree with that because it is more of a niche music, but it's still very popular. Like that's the weird thing, that because it's quite specific, so you wouldn't think that would be loved by most people, but yet it is very, very popular. So there's again this balance.
I was also kind of just wondering, like, in general, amongst like the youth, we're still youth, right? Like, yeah, we're still
Yeah, I
youth.
reckon
We're
we
still
are.
youth. What type of music is really gaining popularity, like locally?
You see, that's what I was referring to. That I don't think I can, personally, I don't think I'm capable of keeping up with the trends at this point.
Yeah.
Because I've identified my niche and I just
Right.
comfortably sit there.
Yeah. Like when we were sorry.
Yeah, because I just, anytime I open top chart, I feel like 90% of it is just trash.
Right.
Some
Yeah.
people will disagree with me, but that's my personal opinion.
I think there's so much variety that like there are really popular artists and songs in every genre. So you would get like extremely popular rap songs, like rap artists, and also pop songs, pop artists. And, I don't know. So it's just, I think, yeah.
I feel like I'm just personally too biased to answer this question because I have my popular, like the music that I like, and I'm like, everyone must like it. But then I realized, for example, when we were preparing songs for this podcast, and they were naming some of the popular artists, and I was like, who are they? Because I realized I'm just like Nick, I'm just so stuck in my own music that I think that everyone listens to it.
Yeah, but although at the same time I must admit that I'm not being skeptical of other kinds of music. I can appreciate that they exist and I can happily listen to them. But I'm just saying that personally I would listen to something of my own.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I'm different in that sense. Like I do have my few favorites, but then I feel like I listen to everything. So I have like music from literally every genre. So I feel like I have that. I could see the variety. I can tell that like there are different, really popular things in
There's
each and every genre.
there's a lot of music that's sort of called the province music. So it's like the kind of rap or pop music that doesn't go widely popular, but it's popular, in small towns, and it's a really deep and complicated topic. But I'm sure if we can compile a list, we'll add loads of songs to that, which will represent that very well.
Interesting. I mean, I'm not expecting like a full explanation about like province music, but like
Yeah.
since you've like mentioned it, can you like just tell us and the listeners just a
So-
little bit about it?
Yeah, so it's the kind of music that, so it's definitely not a particularly fun music, but it's the kind of stuff people would listen to on their daily commute or just walking somewhere, and it's still rap, hip hop, pop music, but it's got a different sort of shade to it. It wouldn't be, you can see that it wouldn't be popular widely because it wouldn't be played on radio, it wouldn't be broadcasted on musical television wouldn't be played in like large concerts at stadiums and stuff. But that's the music that exists. It's fairly popular, but it's not top chart popular.
Right.
I'm sure there's a lot of music like that in England and Europe as well.
I mean, I think this kind of like this whole conversation kind of links back to what we were saying earlier about like having access to music online, right? Basically being able to find whatever you want,
Yeah.
whenever you want, right? Like the quick access to find your niche makes it really difficult to answer questions relating to larger trends anywhere.
And also probably much harder for the governments to prohibit, and making very, limit the music
Yeah.
people can watch
Yeah.
because there's so many platforms and so many, ways that people can find, the music they want to listen to.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so I think maybe we can move on to the next song. We've had a lot of fun with the past two. And yeah, please. If
Why
you
would
guys
it
don't
stop?
mind- Why would it stop? Yeah, please introduce the next song.
So the next song is called Положение by Skriptani, and I don't know, the translation of it is position, basically. It's quite a famous rapper in Russia. He's actually from Kazakhstan himself, but his songs are listened in any Russian-speaking country. And yeah, I think he's sort of also more like a, not like the popular, I don't know how to say, not the same as Morgenstern, basically not the fun songs popular chart, but the kind of more meaningful rap trendy song.
I'm sure you've heard the main theme of this song. It's got quite popular on TikTok. The remix of this song is really popular.
Oh, bro, I'm not on TikTok.
I'm not on
No,
TikTok
I'm
either.
not on TikTok, but surely it must have come up somewhere. I think you'll definitely recognize it.
Exciting time.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
All right, let's listen.